Pat Smith. Pat Smith is on a short list of just 4 other male swimmers all-time at Westminster who won an individual conference event championships in each of his 4 seasons as a Titan. In the 4 years from 2004 through 2007, when they handed out the gold medal to the winner of the President's Athletic Conference 200 backstroke, it was Westminster's Pat Smith standing on the top of the podium. Titan Sports Hall of Fame inductee Jim O'Donnell, a 1963 Westminster graduate, was the first Titan to accomplish this exceptional feat. Pat was the second, and he noted at the time, after winning his 4th straight PAC 200 backstroke championship title, that matching Jim O'Donnell's feat was a significant source of motivation for him. Pat had several other noteworthy accomplishments during his career at Westminster, and those are noted in your program. Pat, listed as the highlight of his swimming career, was when both the Titan men's and women's team won the PAC team championship in 2007, calling the senior class in 2007 the best senior class ever. And to make sure that I remembered that, they gave me a picture of themselves at the senior banquet with best senior class ever inscribed on the frame. It may be interesting to note here as well that Westminster was not Pat's first college choice. He says he received a letter of intent from another school, but didn't sign it. In his words, fate stepped in and the rest is history. Well, that actually is not true, at least I don't think it is. Pat did sign that letter of intent, and it was one of the most disappointing days of my coaching career when he called to tell me he chose that other school. He came to my summer swim camp in 1997, and we developed a relationship all through his high school career. It was a very long recruiting process. But after he called me, I wished him good luck, and I said, give me a call if something doesn't turn out. As Pat said, fate stepped in. On one Sunday morning, I stopped into my office because I was going to attend the Relay for Life event here at Westminster College Track. My phone rang. There was no caller ID that day, at that time, so I picked up the phone, and it was Pat Smith. Do you still want me on your team, coach? I said, certainly. Fate stepped in. Pat was also a member of an NCAA relay team. And as I said before, there's only been 2 in my coaching career. It's a very, very hard feat to achieve. Like I said, you need 4 really, really fast people to get to the NCAA meet. And in this particular event, because again, it's a medley relay, you need to have 1 really fast backstroker, a breaststroker, a butterflyer, and a freestyler. A member of that relay team, the butterflyer, is here tonight, Connor Simpson. One of Pat's goals was to qualify individually for NCAAs. But Pat was more excited when the relay qualified. He would be able to go to nationals with his teammates. When I asked the other 3 members of the relay to describe Pat, all 3 of them pretty much said the same thing. Pat wasn't a swimmer. He was a competitor. There was never any doubt when he swam what the outcome was going to be. There was never a doubt that that relay wasn't going to qualify for nationals. There was never a doubt that relay wasn't going to be All-American. There was never a doubt he wouldn't qualify individually in the 200 backstroke. Pat didn't really sweat the details. He just got things done, and he wanted to win. His hard work and dedication to the sport earned him many of his accolades and awards. In fact, Pat swam on his back most of practice. He's the only person in the pool to do that. It's a lot faster when you swim on your stomach, but Pat swam on his back so he can get better and to keep up with the fast kids because he always wanted to do the fastest send-offs, and he was much faster on his back. As a political science major during his undergraduate days at Westminster, Pat was involved in the Student Government Association and served as a representative of the swimming and diving team to the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, also known as SAC, including serving 2 years as SAC president and representative to the President's Athletic Conference SAC team. Pat also served as an outstanding captain of the men's swimming team. As you may know, Pat will be starting his 4th year as the head swimming and diving coach here at Westminster this season. He is married to former Titan swimming standout Brittany Thomas, also in that great class of 2007. The Smiths have 3 children, Mia, Emma, and Owen, and reside in Newcastle. Ladies and gentlemen, inducted into the Titan Sports Hall of Fame for his accomplishments in swimming, Pat Smith.
I think most people that know me didn't think I'd have a paper up here today. I say this a lot to my team, and it's unique. I stand up in front of this room frequently. My kids actually said, when Daddy starts talking, can we go outside and play? Because a lot of times I'm up here for quite some time. But I say a lot, I'm truly honored, humbled, and blessed to be in the position that I am and to do it with the people that I get to do it with. And as I've kind of reflected on this event, taking the coach hat off and putting the former swimmer hat on, I want to start by thanking the committee, a lot of whom are my colleagues now, Coach Daffler, Coach Fusco, who set the standard, I think, for coaches in the athletic department. And so from that standpoint, I just hope I don't screw it up. I talked with Coach Nicholson earlier today about that, and to be in the company of him, Coach Fusco, Coach Clamant, pretty much the only swim coaches ever to be at Westminster. It's some pretty big shoes to fill. For the other Hall of Famers, it was so cool to follow along with Kate and her career being at Westminster at most of the same time. I was teammates and a coach for Ed. So when I left Westminster and she was a freshman, and came back 2 years later to see how great she'd become as an athlete. And the same thing with Courtney, kind of watching that career just explode. And while I didn't know Pat, I thought it was interesting your talk today about your love for baseball. For the first time ever in my life, I'll admit to my dad that the day I quit baseball is probably the only regret I ever have really had. I played baseball until 11th grade, and I went into the coach and quit that day. He said, "You're going to regret it. Beer league softball is not the same thing." And I said no. And until this day, I don't think I've ever admitted that. So you were right on that one, Dad. Leads me to thank my parents. President Richardson said at the beginning, swim parents, we spent a lot of time in the gym. So we sat in gyms all over Western Pennsylvania for 9 or 10 years. And I don't think I would be where I am today without that commitment. I played a lot of sports growing up, and I kind of dropped them off as I got a little bit worse at them and better at swimming, but never making me choose the sport that, no one in my family ever swam. We all played baseball and soccer and basketball, and that's what my brothers did, who are both in the back of the room today, basketball player and wrestler. And while I'm older than you guys, this is the hard one. This is the awkward Smith part, so I'll just leave it at that, guys. And then I'd like to thank my wife. Britt, you're the most caring and toughest person I know. I knew that when we swam together, but I see it now every day with our family, and I appreciate everything you let me do, so I get to keep doing what I love, which is coach swimming. And thanks, babe. To my in-laws and grandparents, while we didn't have maybe the greatest relationship through college, dating your daughter, I know the same thing with our family. Wouldn't be where we are today without you guys, and I would not be able to do it without you. To the coaches that helped us through along, I'm fortunate that through my college career, basically had 3 head coaches, along with a head coach. So to T, who obviously you guys know, great volleyball coach for us, also coached swimming. Thank you for providing the toughness that I needed. To Eric, Coach Mojok, who's now the head coach at the University of Mount Union, to have him for 2 years, really a backstroke specialist and a Titan Hall of Famer. I really think that my stroke took off and the confidence that you had in me, so thank you to Eric. And Coach Clement, he told my story a little bit. I came to Westminster to prove him wrong, that I didn't make a mistake. I felt like I have to do something so that this guy believes that I want to be here. He left out one part of his story when he talked with our relay team. He said, we'll make NCAAs if we only had a backstroker. So you challenged me when it was appropriate and gave me advice on how to navigate college. I wasn't always the best student. I got into some trouble once or twice, and Coach provided that strength that I think I needed. I just want to give a quick shout out to my roommates. Ryan Trunk is not here. He said he's watching on the live stream, so we'll see if he is or not. But Ryan Trunk was a 3-year national qualifier. He never put times down as his goals. He said, how many push-ups did you do today? And that was really his only goal that he ever made. So being a 4-year roommate with him, he'd hop out of his bunk, pop down on the floor, rip out like 80 push-ups. And those are the sort of things that I think really great athletes do when no one's watching. So to Trump, thank you for doing those things. You probably thought no one was watching, but I certainly was. My other roommate in the back there, Matt, I think you genuinely believed in me to get to the highest level. You held us accountable in the pool and the classroom. We swam together in the same lane pretty much every day. But honestly, Matt, the thing that I take the most was your commitment to Westminster. Matt was SGA president while he was here, and he would kind of talk to us about being grown-ups while we were still in college. And so it's little things like wearing shirts that look nice and being respectful. And as things kind of come full circle to me, to be able to stand where I am now, I think a lot of those lessons are things I tried to instill in my team. And Matt was just maybe a little bit further down the road. I talked with Coach Clement yesterday. I said, Coach, I need one thing to sum up my time at Westminster. And to be honest, I can't think of one thing. It's all of those things. Our freshman year, we had 12 guys. Everybody else quit. Our senior year, we win packs by a couple points. Doing it as a men's and women's team combined, which is something that we haven't done since 2007, and I'm working on that up here as the coach. But being at NCAAs with literally my buddies, we got back from that trip. Coach Clement's like, you guys are kind of mean to each other, And I think that teammate kind of bonding, that any of you guys that have been on a team before know what that's like. And now it's things like going to weddings and seeing kids, and as I look out at Connor and Matt specifically, having been at their weddings, having to see my kids play with their kids, those are the things that are really cool, and those are the things that I take away. I kind of leave it with my team. I tell them, and when I tell recruits this, I say 10 years from now, it doesn't matter what your 50 freestyle time was. It's the people that you meet and the experiences that you had. And now that I'm a little bit more than 10 years past that, those are the things I kind of take. So again, I'm truly honored, humbled, and blessed to be here. And thank you.